Hello my feral friends and welcome back to my channel. My name's Panthera and I'm the Feral Wood Witch. Today we're going to be delving into Litha, the history, the correspondences, ideas for magical workings, and more. So grab your favorite beverage, get your note-taking implements of choice, and let's get started. Also, yes, today I am an elf. I have a role-playing stream after this and I don't have time. Also, if you like D&D, role-playing stuff, things like that, definitely check out my Twitch channel. Shameless plug. I also do tarot readings and other fun stuff there, so definitely come hang out with us. So what is Litha? Litha is one of the 8 Sabbats on the Wheel of the Year and takes place on the longest day of the year, the Summer Solstice, which falls between June 18th and 22nd in the Northern Hemisphere and December 18th through the 22nd in the Southern Hemisphere. On this day, the sun reaches its zenith and seems to stand still in the sky. This Sabbat represents the warmth of summer and the celebration of light as the wheel begins to turn towards darker days ahead. It's difficult to determine the exact origins of Litha as solstice celebrations take place all across the globe. However, the name itself, Litha, meaning gentle or navigable, is first seen in De Temporum Ratione. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I do not know Latin. Sure. But this translates to the reckoning of time, and it was written by the monk Bede. It is believed that the name was given due to the calm breezes that would soothe the sea during this time of year. Now that we have a little base overview of the Sabbat, let's get into some correspondences. If you're unfamiliar with correspondences, they're essentially the items, plants, herbs, animals, deities that are associated with this time of the year, this particular Sabbat, due to folklore or the themes of this period of time. So the colors that are associated with Litha are green, gold, yellow, red, orange, and white. Crystals, stones, and metals associated with Litha are calcite, carnelian, citrine, amber, sunstone, garnet, tiger's eye, emerald, and jade. Animals associated with Litha are bees, butterflies, cows, dragonflies, horses, robins, snakes, and wrens. Trees associated with Litha are oak and elder. Herbs and plants associated with Litha are cinnamon, sunflowers, marigold, honeysuckles, daisies, dandelion, rose, yarrow, chamomile, lavender, and St. John's wort. Food and drink associated with Litha are oranges, lemons and lemonade, cherries, berries, in-season vegetables, honey cakes, mead, wine, and sun tea. And lastly, here are some of the deities associated with Litha to save me from having to pronounce them all. I do want to clarify that I don't think that deities should just be thrown into spells willy-nilly like a recipe ingredient. But if you were already looking to reaching out to one of these deities or already work with one of them, then these are just particularly associated with this time of the year. Now that we have the correspondences covered, let's talk about some magical workings. These are the themes that are going to be particularly potent during the summer solstice. And bonus points if you can squeeze in some of those correspondences that we talked about just a moment ago. So the magical themes that are particularly potent during Litha are rebirth, transformation, power, purity, life, balance, protection, love, working with fire, and working with the Fae. Now, let's talk about some ways that you can celebrate Litha. Also, once again, our usual little disclaimer here, but you do not have to have some huge celebration to be a real witch, right? Celebrating can be as simple or as grand as you like and have the energy for. And not celebrating doesn't make you any less of a witch or a practitioner. Okay, let's get to the fun stuff. Litha celebrations are typically revolving around the sun. Makes sense, right? Traditionally, bonfires were commonly lit during this time. In fact, large bonfires could be seen dotting the whole countryside. And some events even involved setting giant wheels on fire and rolling them down into ponds or lakes. Now, I don't really recommend that one, but having a safe and regulated bonfire or even just a candle, if that's all you're allowed to have in your area, is a perfect way to celebrate the Sabbat. And if you like the idea of the duality that we just mentioned with the water and the fire, maybe try a little floating candle spell. Dress your candle and set it in a bowl of charged water for a little easy Litha working. Also, traditionally, stone circles such as Stonehenge are heavily associated with the summer solstice, as the stones seem to be oriented to highlight the sunrise on that particular morning. While many of us don't have access to standing stone circles, you can still celebrate the rising of the sun in your own way. Wake up while the world is still dark and go to your favorite outdoor location to watch the sunrise. This is also a wonderful time to do spell work, have a ritual, or even just make offerings to whatever spirits you're working with at the time. Decorating your altar is also one of my favorite ways to celebrate the Sabbat. It really helps me to just embrace the themes for each season. Try using corresponding colors, crystals, herbs, statues, decor, whatever you can to help just embody the feeling of Litha in your space. And once again, as with most of our warmer Sabbats, this is a great time to take your magic outside if you aren't already. Good excuse to soak up the sun during your rituals. And if you don't have an altar that you can decorate, you can always just decorate yourself. Dress in colors that represent Litha to you and the themes that you want to embrace during this season. Choose your makeup and jewelry to help reflect the warmth of the sun. And of course, last but certainly not least, the food. Litha takes place during a perfect time of the year to connect more with the local foods that are in season for your area. For many of us, this is really kicking off summer. Berries are ripe, flowers are blossoming, and greens are growing and flourishing. What can you utilize from your local area to make a delicious meal right now? And besides just using the food that is fresh and local in your area during this time of the year, there are also just foods and drinks that are heavily associated with Litha that you can try making yourself. Try your hand at baking some honey cakes, or making homemade mead or sun tea. And even roasting sunflower seeds can be an easy and simple way to connect heavily with one of the main flowers for this time of the year. And that's all for today, my friends. I hope this video gave you a brief but thorough insight into the Sabbat of Litha. I do hope to eventually cover a lot more about each Sabbat, but I do want to start off with just a nice firm foundation, a solid overview of each of these Sabbats for you all. So let me know in the comments what your plans are for Litha. And also, I've created a free Grimoire page just for you. It covers all of the basics that we had here today. So it's in a nice simple format for you to print and have ready. The link as well as the accompanying blog post is down in the description below. And until I see you next time, my friend, stay wild. Luna! She just triggered her floppy fish, which is now making sounds and flopping across the floor. Lovely. For your time, try it, hand. Luna?